Most bankers aren't ready to help you until after their third cup of coffee. But with Central National Bank's after-hours service, you don't have to wait for the bank lobby to open to get help. You can contact us from 6 to 8:30 in the morning or from 5 to 10 in the evening, and we'll connect you to a real, live, local person who can answer questions and fix problems 7 days a week. Bank different. Bank Central. Central National Bank. Member FDIC.
Through the night, deep in the heart of Texas, the trailer park is nice and dark. Deep in the heart of Texas, Ted drinks his brew and he spits his chew. Deep in the heart of Texas, the TV blares but no one cares. Deep in the heart of Texas, here we go.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to King of the Hill Rewatch Podcast. I am Mike.
And I'm Rusty, and welcome to a Friday episode of That Ain't Right.
That Ain't Right Friday. And this Friday, we are going to go over a few more minor characters. I do have a little bit of a theme here, though, this time.
Okay.
We are going to go over the other Gribbles, not just Dale, the other Dauterives, and the other Boomhauers. They all have people related to them that show up in the show sooner or later.
So we're gonna dive into the Boomhauer genealogy here.
Well,
are you gonna
Gribble, Dauterive, and Boomhauer.
Okay. So what are we doing first today then?
We're starting with the Gribbles.
We're starting with the Gribbles. Are you gonna do it in chronological order from oldest Gribble to youngest?
This is in no Gribble order.
Okay, so they're all at a Gribble.
No particular Gribble order. I went to a concert last night, and the guy said that he was high on dust, but not dust. He said like dirt or something. He was just being stupid, but it was the funniest. It was very funny.
High on
not
dust.
angel dust, because that's what I thought it sounded like.
Yeah, I
was
like high on. Yeah. I was like, oh, you go stand over there, bud. Don't sweat on me, please.
Something else. All right, let's start with these other Gribbles. We're going to start.
So the Gribble family tree.
First and foremost.
Does it have branches?
No, everybody hits them on the way down.
Yeah.
We're going to start with Nancy Hicks Gribble. This is voiced by Ashley Gardner. She's Dale's wife, of course, Joseph's mother, and a weather girl turned anchor for local news station Channel 84. She's 44 years old in the series. She had a 14-year affair with John Redcorn, which produced her son, Joseph.
Yeah.
Although the affair ended when John Redcorn befriends Dale. He does become Dale's friend later on.
Yeah, he does.
Nancy finally becomes a faithful wife to Dale. John Redcorn refused to come back to her out of respect for Dale.
Which is really funny that how those particular episodes transpire, how after all those years the truth never came out. So the thing is when you're making amends, like personally for things like that, you would think that for their conscience to be able to be clear, John and Nancy would have said something to Dale.
Yeah.
But see, they
never
choose to continue to live in guilt.
Yeah.
So do they ever show? And this is deeper than cartoons, but do they ever show true remorse? Do they ever do a grand gesture to make up for what they did? No, I don't think they do.
Redcorn refused to come back, and her mother, Bunny, was also unfaithful to Nancy's father, but did not reveal her own long-term affair until after Nancy began suffering stress-induced hair loss over her unresolved feelings for John Redcorn. So, yeah, they kept it in so long that her hair started falling out.
That's...
Nancy is a former beauty queen, and that is something that helped her get her job as a weather girl.
A weather girl, yeah. She was a weather girl.
I love Nancy. I think that she is fantastic on this show because Nancy is one of those characters that you get very small doses of, and it's plenty. Little Nancy goes a long way.
Yeah, I like Nancy's character, though. I think she's funny.
Joseph John Gribble. voiced by Brittany Murphy, 97 to
Murphy.
2000. Brecklin
Rest in
Meyer,
peace.
2000 to 2009. He's Dale and Nancy's 13-year-old son at the time of the show. And
So he was voiced by Brittany Murphy?
he was voiced by Brittany Murphy to begin with, and
I
then
didn't know
Brecklin
that.
Meyer.
Okay.
Yeah, or Breckenmeyer, sorry.
know who that
Despite
is.
Joseph's, he's one of Bobby's best friends.
No, I know who Joseph is.
Well, I'm just
Yeah.
saying it. I'm just
You were just
completing what I got
My
here.
bad, my bad.
Despite Joseph's obvious Native American features, his similarity in appearance to John Redcorn, and the fact that his middle name is John,
Yep.
neither he nor Dale is aware that Redcorn is his
No.
biological father.
And they never are made aware.
Nancy refers to Dale having a quote-unquote Jamaican grandmother to explain Joseph's dark complexion. Redcorn's occasional and awkward attempts to get closer to Joseph, against Nancy's wishes usually, lead Joseph to regard him as a strange and creepy man. Joseph starts out as an ordinary teen, but eventually grows weird and creepy, not to mention dim-witted. That is very true. Like when the show first starts, he's just like, he's just Joseph, right? But he gets super creepy, like especially around girls and stuff. As the show goes on, he becomes a really creepy kid.
Yeah, he does. He when he is going through puberty, he has a really odd experience with puberty. Really odd experience with puberty.
So he started off as an ordinary teen, then he gets weird and creepy and dim-witted. He is a dumb kid. Joseph begins to take after Dale more than John, Nancy, or even any of his friends. Joseph has a half-sister named Kate,
Yes.
John Redcorn having another affair with a lady. She's
And
very,
don't they date?
yes, they try to date. Yeah. She is very similar to Joseph in personality and interest, but likewise does not realize that Redcorn is her father. Joseph is the
weird.
only character of the series shown to physically mature. He grows 6 inches in height over the course of a summer. He has a more built physique, athletic prowess, and he has a deeper voice and a wispy mustache upon his reappearance. So that's how they explain going from one voice actor to the next.
Oh,
He grows
aged him
up a little bit.
But it's
Yeah.
crazy that he's the only one that has
He's the only one that
continuity of
does it.
aging.
That's
yeah.
what I'm saying. Yeah, he's the only one. All right. Last in the Gribble family tree is Bug Gribble.
Bug Gribble, the gay rodeoer.
He is voiced by David Herman.
Yeah.
He's Dale's father, Nancy's father-in-law, and Joseph's
Okay, this is deep.
grandfather.
I've got a deep thing for you. Okay, so the episode where we find out that Dale's dad is gay, we also see the struggle that Dale has accepting the fact that his dad is homosexual.
Sure.
Well, I always, and this is the 2 and 2 that I put together, this go around in adulthood watching King of the Hill.
Right.
He was a exterminator who killed bugs, who then had a conflict with his dad who was homosexual,
Whose name is
whose
Bug.
name is Bug.
Yeah.
So maybe I don't shoot the messenger. I'm just saying maybe there's some correlation to the angst that he feels about his dad's sexuality, and that maybe that has something to do with the exterminator job, and maybe it's a metaphor for he wants to not kill his dad, but
I'm not going to
kill that
shoot the
inside of his
messenger,
dad.
but I am going to tell you I think that's all bullshit.
Yeah, it is probably.
So he has been estranged from Dale for many, many years, like you were talking about. He kissed Nancy at her and Dale's wedding reception. That's what caused the estrangement. Bug is actually gay and had been flirting with a Filipino caterer instead. And upon sensing Dale's imminent entry into the room, attempted to hide his orientation from his son by grabbing and kissing the nearest thing in a dress. This misunderstanding, which was kissing Nancy, and Bug's inability to reveal his true sexuality to Dale, resulted in their estrangement. When Dale and Nancy renew their wedding vows 20 years afterwards, Nancy arranges to invite Bug, and Dale initially suspects his odd behavior and his having a quote-unquote partner, of meaning that Bug is an undercover government agent, but finally accepts the truth upon seeing Bug and his partner share a devoted kiss. Bug's appearance in My Own Private Rodeo retcons his appearance in earlier episodes, where he bears a near identicality to present-day Dale. So they change his appearance.
Change how he looks. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, it is weird. So
Just one of
Joseph
those
grows
animation
up.
Continuities.
Joseph grows up, and Bug changes his appearance.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this in the last episode.
Yeah.
So the way animation works, which a lot of people might not know, is a lot of it they send
To elves.
They send to
Sure.
elves or overseas.
Sure.
Overseas to South Korean elves or Japanese elves, animator elves.
Right, animator elves.
But so they send it off to Korea for this show, particularly for King of the Hill.
Right.
And that's where all of the actual putting the animation together and everything, the finished product was Korea.
Yeah.
So I really thought it was interesting in that last episode that we just discussed that they had that little scene, the Southeast Asian the
parable.
The parable about life and the animation for that. I just thought that was cool. And also, I don't know if you know that there's a Simpson episode. I think it's the next Simpsons episode. You might have heard of this, Mason. They're doing it in Death Note style, the animation style of the Japanese anime Death Note style.
Well, it's a Treehouse of Horror.
Yeah,
it's because they got the studio who originally did Death Note to do a little bit of work on it.
That is crazy good. That's all. I mean, and that's again, there was a Disney executive since we're on the conversation animation that I think it's the Disney CEO right now. I think he might be the top guy at Disney. He just recently said that adults, after they have been watching animation all day with their children, don't care to watch animation. Anything, whether it be King of the Hill, whatever, they don't want to watch anything animated.
I get that.
After they put the kids to bed.
I can see that.
And your generation might be able to see that, but mine and Mason's generation, I don't see that because we are the generation that reclaimed animation for adults.
Okay.
Because animation in its origins was not for children. If you go back and you talk to Tex Avery himself has said, look at my cartoons. A wolf howling at a woman that's half naked.
Yeah, sure.
He said, how is that for children?
Yeah.
And cartoons in their origin point, if you go back even further, just to the black and white cartoons, there is some raunchy stuff out there. The original stuff is really raunchy because it was made for adults. So that CEO saying that, I think the animation world right now is taking a big hit because it's being misunderstood by your generation. Because it's all the CEOs. Well, it's not your fault. You're progressive. You're here. You're doing a show about King of the Hill, an adult animated program. We went and watched like puppets together. You know what I mean?
Go and watch puppets. Yeah,
it's
the same episode that you're talking about with the Death Note stuff in it.
Yeah,
it also has part of that episode, the Simpsons and Bob's Burgers crossover.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like crossovers like that. I like there was one that they did with
Bob's Burgers.
King
is
of
a
the Hill
fantastic
too.
Show.
Well, King of the Hills had its own cameo in just about every one of those shows.
Yeah.
They even had one in Family Guy. Peter is standing in. I think it's a Halloween episode too. Peter's like standing in front of the mirror, and he grabs his face and he pulls his face, and it's Hank standing in the mirror. And I think he says, "I tell you what," or something. I don't know, or blah, or something like that.
He just laughs, and then there's another one where they make it to where Family Guy is a fever dream of Hank's, and then he wakes up. He's like, "Oh, I can never wake up and understand it. I always wake up before I understand if I know they understand the baby."
Is that on a King of the Hill episode?
No, it's on a Family Guy.
It's on a Family Guy episode where we'll have to talk about that. We'll have to dig that up and have that as a Friday episode.
That's cool.
That'd be cool.
That's cool.
See, that's the thing is that I've enjoyed about this, Mike, is the further and further and further.
Oh, yeah.
Like I go
Gets
down
deep.
the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
There's so much more content, and like we had discussed before, it just seems like it's generationally at a point like how big the '70s show was when it came out in the late '90s.
Right.
It's like that again. It's like a resurgence of the '90s. The '90s is exploding, because all of us are now able to buy the things that we couldn't afford when we were kids.
Absolutely.
But I love it.
Hey, we're going to drive into the Dauterives and
The
Boomhauers
Dauterives.
when we come back from this commercial.
Watch us fight all through the night, deep in the the heart of
Okay, we are
All right.
back, and now this is officially the second half of this episode.
The second half.
We're going to dive into other Dauterives. So the first one being Gilbert Fontaine Dauterive.
Gilbert Fontaine Dauterive.
This man is voiced by David Herman again.
Great voice actor.
He's
a lot of King of the
he
Hill.
does a ton of stuff on here. Yeah, he's Bill's
A lot of King of the
cousin,
Hill.
though at one point shown to live on the family estate with his aunt and cousin in Louisiana Bayou in a beer can named Desire.
That's a good.
That's an excellent episode.
It's a good episode.
It's the one where Bobby goes.
I'm wilting. Yeah, Bobby just goes nuts with the whole Southern Belle stuff.
He and Bill eventually wind up as the last two living Dauterives. It is strongly implied that he is gay, and he even hits on Buck Strickland when Buck attempts to capitalize on the Dauterive family's traditional barbecue sauce recipe in blood and sauce.
Oh,
I love that episode where they introduce him. I think it's fantastic.
oh, I agree. Yeah,
I'm Wilton.
I'm Wilton.
All right, next, SMA Dauterive.
Yep.
This was voiced by Meryl Streep.
Oh, Meryl Streep.
Yeah.
Actually, there was a cameo in the last episode that I forgot too. Heather
really?
Locklear
Oh, wow.
voices a character that she's shown, but she doesn't have any speaking parts.
Oh.
So
Wait,
I'll leave
huh?
that up. Okay.
How is that a thing?
Well, the character
Uh-huh.
doesn't have any voice in this particular one, but the character reappears in a
Later.
different episode as Heather Locklear's voice. So Heather Locklear
Okay.
voices that.
All right.
It's just like it's just the same thing with the the episode, the original ending episode.
Sure.
Where everybody's there. They didn't have every voice actor in the room, because if
Yeah.
they did, they would have had to have like 6 studios for that, because that was like they had all of the iconic voices from the show pretty much.
So this is SMA Dauterive, again, voiced by Meryl Streep. She is Bill and Gilbert's aunt, matriarch of the Dauterive clan. She expressed deep concern over the family's ever-shrinking headcount, lamenting that the Dauterive blood is down to a trickle. She happily received Bill upon his return for a visit and was not displeased to see him and his cousins' widows taking mutual interest. She is only seen in a beer can She is only seen in a beer can named Desire. It is later revealed that she had died after a fever. She got a fever and died.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Next, Violetta Dauterive, voiced by Natalie Maines. She is Bill and Gilbert's cousin. She lived on the family estate in Louisiana with SMA,
Yeah,
Gilbert,
SMA,
and
Gilbert.
Rose and Lily, the widows of the 2 other Dauterive cousins. Upon Bill's visit, she, Rose, and Lily, all having been without male companionship for too long, vied for Bill's affections and attempted to seduce him, even despite Violetta's own blood relationship to him. Like SMA, she is only seen in a beer can named Desire. It is later revealed that she had died in her sleep.
Wow.
You're killing off all the Dauterives.
The Dauterives are dying one by one. I think this house might have a little more.
might
Maybe
have-
Boobays needs to explore this Dauterive house.
The Dauterive blood is down to a trickle. Next is Lenore Dauterive, voiced by famous actress Ellen Barkin. She is Bill's mean-spirited ex-wife. She is mentioned frequently throughout the course of the series, but only appears twice, once being when Bill and Bobby watch Bill's wedding video. She then appears when Bill begins dating former Texas Governor Ann Richards to meddle with their relationship.
Yeah, that's a great episode too.
And the episode is Hank and the Great Glass Elevator. But with help from Richards, Bill is finally able to tell her off and move past her toxic influence. I have an argument with her only appearing twice, because Bill appeared as Lenore one time.
He did. Yeah,
Yeah.
Bill did. Yeah, you're right.
So ultimately, it's really 3 times, but it was really only her twice. Last of the Dauterive tree is Eric Dauterive, voiced by Stephen Root, who also does Bill. He is Bill's
Stephen Root.
He is Bill's implicitly deceased father, who was emotionally unstable. Among the abuses Bill recalls from his father are having been spanked every day between the ages of 9 and 16, being called a girl and made to wear pretty dresses, and being locked in a rabbit hutch.
That's terrible.
That's rough. Yeah, it's rough.
A rough existence.
Child abuse is not funny, but pretty dresses and being locked in a rabbit hutch is. And that's it for the Dauterives, right?
That's it for the Dauterives.
Yeah. So last, but certainly not least, are the other Boomhauers. We have 3 Boomhauers that are mentioned during
3 Boomhauers.
this series. First being Patch. Do you remember who played Patch Boomhauer?
Patch Boomhauer. Wasn't Patch voiced by got any weed? Be a lot cooler if you did.
Who was it, Mason?
You really don't know it, Rusty?
No, I know who it is. Matthew McConaughey.
Nope.
No, it was Brad Pitt.
Brad
It
Pitt?
was Brad Pitt. I
Yeah,
thought
it's Brad
Brad Pitt did. Who did? Matthew McConaughey did. What was his name? Rad Thibodeau.
Brad Thibodeau.
Thibodeau.
So
Yeah.
this is Patch Boomhauer, voiced by Brad Pitt. He is Boomhauer's sleazy, womanizing younger brother. He appears in Patch Boomhauer, apparently engaged to marry Boomhauer's old flame, Catherine, much to Boomhauer's mounting displeasure, as he himself has unresolved feelings for Catherine, and Patch's continued philandering angers him for her sake. The wedding is later called off after Patch hires strippers for his bachelor party and frames Boomhauer for trying to break up the engagement. Patch makes a final cameo in Lucky's wedding suit as one of the guests at Luann and Lucky's wedding. Patch, like Boomhauer, speaks in a fast-paced Southern gibberish.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
Somebody got a dang old dang. Okay, so we'll go ahead and talk about it anyway. So
Pretty amazing, though, that Brad Pitt.
Yeah, I watched again. I did the commentary on it, and they did the making. They had a making of deleted scene.
Sure.
And I'm gonna get that to you.
Making of deleted scenes?
Well, they had deleted scenes, and they had the making of
Gotcha.
on this. I was trying to think of the word of it. The special features on the DVD.
If you
It's been a
set
long
out
time.
to make deleted scenes,
Well, it's,
It
you know,
seems a
you know
little
that is that is an idea for a podcast. Deleted scenes, where all you
Deleted
do is
scenes, sure.
discuss deleted scenes from old
Sure.
movies,
I love
TV
that.
shows.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Coming soon
Yeah.
to Rogue Media Network.
Yeah, deleted scenes with Mike and Rusty.
Woof, woof. I don't know.
I
what
lost
this
where I
is.
was going. Yeah, no, I lost.
So
I
you
lost
watched
my
the
train of
deleted scenes.
thought. Oh yeah, I was watching
Yep.
the deleted scenes. They had the making of little clip on
Your
there.
thought was deleted.
And yeah, it was. It just went doo doo doo. It was the logging out sound on Windows.
Yeah.
yeah,
Ding dong dong.
yeah. So
You have mail.
he talks about the origin of Boomhauer's voice on there.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best because he tells the story 1,000 times, and there's 1,000 places you could hear the story. But I
Dang
think
old Porky's butthole, man.
the best version of it is there, and that's what he does. He goes on about there was a phone call at MTV, and he said it's really funny because somebody had to actually call up and say, "Hey,
Yeah.
can I get the MTV phone number?" And you know, back in the
Sure.
days when you had to call a
Yeah.
directory to get it. So the guy calls in. And he said,
Porky's butthole, man.
Mike Judd said, I don't know why he thought the show was called Porky's Butthole, but that's what he thought the show was, and he was bitching about the show, talking about the dang old Porky's Butthole.
Man, I wish we could reach that guy. I want to talk to that guy.
Porky's Butthole?
I want to talk to Porky's butthole.
Yeah, that guy probably doesn't exist. He's
If
probably
that-
dead by
If
now.
that guy was still alive and we were able to reach him, I would change the name of this show to Porky's Butthole.
Because by the way he talks about that guy was probably like in his 60s at that time,
Sure.
in the 90s, early 90s too,
Yeah.
because that was before the show his inception.
Well, you know, I'll talk to a 100-year-old.
Well, I'm gonna get you. I still need to get it. I'm gonna rip it from the DVD to the computer, and I'm gonna get you the file for the making of, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you the commentary
Yeah.
episodes and stuff like
Let's
that.
do it.
I really wish there was more commentary episodes from season 1. I don't know
Mhm.
why there's not. And there's only, from what I understand, it's only the season 1, 2, and 3 that have any
I
commentary.
doubt very seriously at that time commentary was really a thing.
Probably. Well,
You know?
yeah, I think the DVDs didn't come out till like 2003 though.
Yeah.
So the
Oh,
show had been out
maybe
for a little
so.
while before they released anything, and then they didn't even release all of them. Another company had to pick it up and get the rights to finish off the DVD set.
Really?
That's why.
Wow.
That's why only the first 3 seasons of the DVD set, I think, have content like that, because
Mhm.
all the other stuff is just the show.
They just cranked it out.
Because they only did so much with King of the Hill, and then King of the Hill was getting canceled and stuff like that. So I mean, why are you going to continue on with the DVD set of a show that you're canceling? They
Yeah.
didn't put the energy or effort
Sure.
to finish it off, which.
It sucks.
I really hope, pray for the near future. Maybe that they'll go back and they'll revisit
Yeah.
cranking out that.
With this
I
stuff
doubt
like
it'll
that.
ever happen because, you know, they're making so much new content.
Right.
You know, hopefully that Bad Crimes gets redone.
That would be great.
Hopefully it gets picked up somewhere. It looked like it was going to be a really neat show.
I just want to see more Mike Judge stuff. So
Yeah,
the
it's
next one on
been
this
too long.
family tree, Dr. and Mrs. Boomhauer, voiced by Mike Judge. They are Boomhauer's parents. Mrs. Boomhauer is shown to speak like Boomhauer in Peggy's Turtle Song. In Three Coaches and a Bobby, Boomhauer mentions that his parents had won the lottery and moved to Florida. There's a lot going on in Boomhauer's past.
They're really tan people though, so I could see Florida.
Tan. Sure. Well, I can just see the way that Boomhauer speaks and the stuff that he does
Florida
being
man.
very Florida. Yeah.
Yeah.
Last but certainly not least is Meemaw Boomhauer, again voiced by Mike Judge. She is Boomhauer's elderly grandmother. She is seen in Dang Old Love when Boomhauer, infatuated with Marlene, goes to Meemaw to ask for the family heirloom wedding ring as well as Lucky's wedding suit, where she is seen sitting with the other guests as well as dancing with Patch for a brief moment. Meemaw speaks in the same characteristic gibberish that the rest of the Boomhauer shares and wears dentures. Who was in the car for Mother's Day?
That was his mom.
That was his mom.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Mrs. Boomhauer because she was like,
Miss
dang old man,
Boomhauer.
Mother's Day.
Dango.
Porky's butthole.
Porky's butthole.
And that's it, man. That's all the Dauterives.
That's the
all
Dauterives.
of the Boomhauers.
That's the
And that's
Boomhauers.
all of the Gribbles.
And that's all the Gribbles. There you go. That was the
Gribble, gribble.
genealogy of what we know. It
Thanks.
might go deeper than that in dialogue, but
Thanksgiving's coming up. Gribble, gribble.
yeah, Gribble Gribble. Thanksgiving is coming up, and Halloween is coming up too.
Stupid.
Next year we'll have some spooky stuff for y'all. We're just starting out, so cut us a break on holidays. And,
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh,
This was a great Friday, though. I
well-
really enjoyed the conversation. It was good.
It was I did want to do like a spooky deal, but if we did, we would have to revisit an episode that we've like recently visited within the last 2 months.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do anything that recent, but next year, what I'll do is there was actually a bracket that they had online that I was watching. Bracket Meyer. They had a bracket of all of the shows that could be considered spooky.
Yeah, you were telling me about that. Yeah.
Or eerie or whatever.
Well,
and then they were doing
and then there was also a thing where
King of the
somebody
Hill
just
thing.
went and like rated all the shows. I remember you sent me that as well.
Yeah, they did a lot of different stuff with the shows. So there is a group of spooky episodes, and we will next October we will.
You got the
explore
Christian
that for
Haunted
the whole
House.
month.
You got the pig.
And then who knows? Maybe by next year,
Yeah.
there'll be 3 episodes a week, and we'll be actually
Maybe.
able to do something big with this. So, guys, if you want to make that possible, stay tuned. Because,
If you want to make 3 episodes possible a week, you can attend my wake once that starts, and Mason can take over.
Yeah, there we go. What we're going to do is we're going to set up some Patreon and some stuff like that.
Sure.
I don't know where we're going to get the content from for those things, but we're going to try to get you guys some
Porky's
bonus.
Butthole. That's where
Yeah,
we'll
we're
get
going to call Porky's Butthole. So we're going to try to get y'all some bonus content in the form of a newsletter or something. And I think what the newsletter might consist of is you could call it the Arlen Times. It would be just a like a rundown of the episode that we already did, like a transcript of what we discussed or something. And if you guys have any ideas of what you would like to see for extra content, feel free to shoot out in any form of contact, whether it be our phone number,
which is 7.
Email address roguemedianetwork.com.
You can go to info@roguemedianetwork.com
or Rusty Y at Rogue
Rusty
Media
Y, Mike at roguemedianetwork.com.
Mike.
Yeah, any of those you can write to us. If you want to write to us, we will certainly put your letters on the air.
Yeah, I'll put your letters on the air. We'll read them out. Also, if you need to DM me, you could DM me on Instagram, Twitter, all that. I check all that stuff regularly.
BWAAAKOTH.
We would like to hear your ideas. This was brought to you by the letter G.
For Gribble?
For Gribble.
Sure. Brought to you by the letter G.
Provided by viewers like you. I love that about PBS.
Yeah.
That was one of the things.
It was very comforting.
Well, no, as a kid, I was just like, I don't know I think it's a marketing tactic.
Yeah.
But it made me feel like I was really a part of something big. I was like, as a kid, I'm just like, damn.
Brought to you by the Stephen G.
PBS
Coleman Foundation.
It was
and
like
viewers like you.
Yeah, it's like PBS really thought to thank me, like for watching their programs. Like they thank me it's like after every show. Thank you for watching.
You thought
PBS
they were thanking
for
you
viewers like
specifically?
you. Yeah, because they said viewers like you. So I'm
Did
like,
you ever,
me, right?
Did you ever watch the telethons, like the PBS telethon things?
Hell no.
They would give away the tote bags and all that stuff.
Anything
if you gave
telethon,
$50, you got a tote bag.
Yeah, anything telethon related. I generally skipped.
See, I like telethons.
I generally skip those.
And you know what I like about telethons? Like especially like the Jerry Lewis telethon. I like the 3 a.m. slot.
Oh,
because
here we go.
people are sweaty and nasty and gross by then.
We got sent two ads from our guy here. We're gonna listen to one and we'll save one for. I'll send them to you and we'll save one for the show.
This is George Takei. I played Sulu on Star Trek. I love the show King of the Hill, and I'm so glad to be listening to the podcast, the King of the Hill Rerun Watchers podcast.
Rerun Watchers.
Thank you, Mike and Rusty.
Actually, I want to listen to the second one now. After that, I can't help it. I was going to save it, but
let's listen to the second.
Appearing Friday night at the Arlen Mall, sponsored by Strickland Propane, the Propaniacs, at 8 p.m. Come by and see the antics of the Propaniacs and their comedy show.
Listen to that in the background.
That's at Arlen Mall, Friday night, 8 p.m.
you know, it really does sound like an old radio cutout.
It does. It's great.
Because the radio never would pick up the background song entirely when they were doing those readouts like that. That was
Who
great.
sent us those?
That's Christopher. His name is Christopher.
Christopher.
I'm going to go ahead and send those to you, Mike.
You
so
did a
you
fine
have
job
them.
there, Christopher.
Yeah, we appreciate that again, Chris.
Chris, I think
that was
you have
great.
some voice actors in your house.
Yeah, you do, buddy. You got.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a group of people that's
Small
doing this or
production
not.
studio.
But
You speaking
we're
of elves?
impressed.
That sounded like elves.
Propaniacs. Propane elves.
I'm a propaniac.
Just
All
a
right.
propane elf.
All right, I think we're done.
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
We will see you again on Monday.
With my time, yay.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.
Hey, Cricket customers, Max with ads is included with your Cricket $60 unlimited plan at no additional cost. Nice! Max is the streaming platform where you can watch Scoob, Meg 2 The Trench, The Nightmare on Elm Street collection, and so much more. Remember me. Just log in with your Cricket username and password to experience Max on all your favorite devices.
We've never seen this before.
Max, the one to watch for a good scream with Cricket. Phone plan streams in standard definition. Programming subject to change. Fees, terms, and restrictions apply. See cricketwireless.com for details.